All right, this is video 2 for Unit 2 of our pre-algebra course. If you're joining us just from YouTube, this entire course, the lecture portion, is available for free here on YouTube. You can click the link in the iCard. If you're one of my students or if you're just here for the math, let's dive in and talk about adding integers, shall we? Okay, so first we're going to talk about what the heck is... No, we already did that. I was about to lie to you. We know what an integer is. We talked about that in the last video. We'll put a link up to that up in the iCard so you can remember, and I can remember, and everybody can remember all together what the heck we're doing, right? And so we're going to talk about adding integers together. So adding with negatives, right? So let me get this. There we go. All right. So what if we're adding integers with the same sign? What the heck is that? I tried to spell sign both ways at once. You probably don't even know that there's another way to spell sign because you probably don't even know that all that's different. You'll learn about that in pre-cal or so, or maybe even sooner. We shall see what happens. So if we're doing something like 4 plus 8, those two numbers have the same sign, right? This 4 is positive. This 8 is positive. Right? And so we just add and we keep the sign. So that's what we do anytime we're adding things with the same sign. So if we're doing the same sign, then we add and keep the sign. Right? So the answer to this first example is 12, right? So what about if we're, that one's old news, right? 4 plus 8 is 12. You've been knowing that for a long time. All right, what if we have -6 plus -2? And just so you know, the only reason we put these parentheses on a problem like this is for clarity, so we don't accidentally kind of sling that plus and minus together and kind of have some weird thing if our handwriting isn't quite up to snuff and all of that stuff. So if that's why we put those parentheses there, and that's all. But again, we have things that we're adding together that have the same sign. So -6 plus -2, we're going to add and we're going to keep the sign. I like to, especially if it's going to be a negative, I like to plop that in at right away so I remember and don't forget. As you continue your math journey from this point on, the signs are going to be a place where you could easily accidentally make mistakes. So you want to do everything you can to make sure they stay targeted and stay focused and stay right where you want them to be. Okay, so 6 plus 2 is 8. So -6 plus -2 is -8 because we add the numbers and we keep the sign that they have. That's easy peasy, right? That's no big deal. What about if they have different signs? Different signs. Okay. So the example we're going to look at, this would be example, what is it, 3 or 2? 3. That's what I thought, but sanity check. Example number 3. What if we have 9 plus -3? So this time, the 9 is positive and the 3 is negative. So the signs are different. So if we're adding numbers with different signs, then what we do is we subtract and keep the sign. Still on there? Yep. The sign of the bigger number. The bigger number. Okay. So for this guy, we're going to do 9 minus 3, right? What's 9 minus 3? Well, it's 6. And then we look and see which one's bigger, the 9 or the 3. 9 is bigger than 3. And so we're going to keep positive. So the answer to 6 plus negative 3 is positive 6. Let's do one more example of ones like this. Okay. And then we'll do one that's a little bit more wild and crazy, 1 or 2. And then we'll move on to the next thing in the next video. So example number 4 is going to be, let's say, 5 plus negative 11. All right, so we're going to subtract. So we got to do 11 minus 5, right? Because we're going to subtract the bigger one, or the smaller one from the bigger one, right? So 11 minus 5 is 6. And then we look back, and it is 5 or 11 bigger. 11's bigger, and so we keep the negative. Now, I'm going to start now. I'm going to say this a lot at this, at this phase in this chapter, and probably a fair amount even going after that. These rules, these 2 rules that we've learned so far for integers, these only apply to addition and subtraction. Later, in a couple of lessons, we're going to talk about multiplication and division. Those follow different rules. And I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler alert here. In multiplication and division, it doesn't matter which one's bigger. Only in addition and subtraction does it matter which one's bigger. And I want to start nailing that into your little gray matters and all those things early and often, because it's easy to get that all mixed up, right? So these rules are just for addition and subtraction. Okay, so different sign, we subtract and keep the sign of the bigger one. Let's do one or two final examples that are a little bit more wild and crazy, and then we'll be done with this video. So let's see, we're on example 5. Yes, example 5. Excuse me. Example number 5. So we're going to do negative 6 plus negative 15 plus 6. Now, we're just doing order of operations here. That's really all we're doing, but we're throwing in integer rules on top of it. So the first thing we're going to take care of is this guy right here. So negative 6 plus negative 15. So we got to ask ourselves, are the signs the same or different? They're both negative, so they're the same. So we're going to add, and we're going to keep the sign. So 6 plus 15 is 21. But it's going to be negative 21 because why, because, when, how, because they have the same sign, right? And we're going to break down what we haven't touched, right? Negative 21 plus 6. So now are the signs the same or different? I'm really struggling with my words all of a sudden for some reason. I don't know. So this one's negative, that one's positive. They're different, so we're going to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger one. So 21 minus 6 is 15. Right? And the bigger one is 21. And so we end up with negative 15. All right, let's do one more with kind of multiple steps like that, and then we'll call it quits for this one. Example number 6. 7 plus negative 1 plus 26 plus negative 13. All right. So first thing we're going to take care of is these first 2. Remember, addition and subtraction, just like multiplication division, above it on the order of operations, we do left to right. Right? Left to right. Video. Okay. So the signs are different. So we're going to subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger one so it stays positive. We're going to break down everything we haven't touched. Plus 26 plus negative 13. 6 plus 26, signs are the same. So we're going to add and keep the sign. So it's going to be 32. 32. Positive, right? Keep the sign. Plus negative 13. This time, the signs are different. This one's positive, that one's negative, so we're going to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger one. So 32 minus 13. Oh, did I do a math wrong? Oh, nope. Nope. Oh, I see. LOL, JK. I was looking at the notes, and they did some associative property nonsense and made their life easier, which was very brilliant of them, but I didn't notice that, and so this is the way we're doing it. So we're going to end up with 19, and it is positive 19 because 32 is bigger than 13. That's it. That's done. If you're one of my students, do your homework, all the things. I'll see you in class. You're wonderful, amazing human beings. If you are not one of my students, you are still probably, almost certainly, a wonderful, amazing human being. Thanks for joining us for this video. If you want to see what else we're doing, you can head to emberlearninglabs.com and see what's going on over there. We've got all kinds of fun things. If you're in the Lubbock area, we've got a robotics camp coming up this summer as of the release of this video, and all kinds of cool stuff. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell and all the cool things. We appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.